Welcome back, everyone. And you can see I'm starting a new series here, The Warehouse. And in this series, well, actually I might want to start with a little bit of backstory. You might remember my first video ever, that frame quarry tutorial. And even though I made that video as my first video, it's still by far my most popular video. So I thought, why don't I make more tutorial-like things? You know, start a new series. So, in this series, what I'm going to be doing is instead of creating a bunch of little tutorials all separate from each other, I'm going to be creating a warehouse. A warehouse filled with all sorts of crazy contraptions that I'm going to show you guys how to build. So, first, we might actually want to make a warehouse. And for that, I'm going to show you how to use Buildcraft fillers. Why did I type fillers? And this is what I'm going to use to make this forest into a gigantic warehouse. So I think right here might be a nice place to start. And for the filler, and a lot of other Buildcraft things use things called landmarks. These landmarks allow you to define an area, and how they work is, very importantly, if you grab a redstone signal, and you just power it, it shoots off these little blue lasers, and that just shows that what's in line. So you can place other landmarks in a line from that. So you see this was in line, so I hit one landmark, it will do a red line to this, and if I place down any sort of machine, it will register where the line was, and be able to do stuff with that area. Now, it's not only limited to one dimension. Yes, there we go, and now when I place my filler down, you can see I'm going to be working with this area. And, even better, it does work with three-dimensional things. So if I just grab myself a landmark like, you know, like that, wow, I have a gigantic landmark cube. And if I place down my filler near, I think it has to be this landmark. Cool. Yay, it's part of this selected giant area. So I'm going to fill in this little ditch I made here and get to work. So this redstone thing, you might think, well, why do you need to know that if you're just placing your landmark like right there? It's so easy. Well, landmarks actually work from 64 blocks away. And because I'm going to be doing a lot of things in this warehouse, I want it to be the max size possible. So, okay, maybe not max size. I'll go right till here-ish. I'll just place down another landmark. Now, if I head back over in this direction, you can see those two are in a line, and even though they're really far away, if I hit this, they'll still connect. Now, I'm going to power this again. You notice it actually, it's smart about this, and it will still do the red line because those two are connected, and it will not show in this direction because you cannot connect another thing in the same direction. So, I'm going to be running down this way. It should be along one of these paths, and because, you know, at this point we've changed elevation and changed areas for, yeah, there we go, and that's where it is. So it's helpful, really helpful, to be able to locate where that little beam is. So I'll place another landmark down right there. Nice. And I'm going to want this thing to be quite tall. So, for that, I'm going to build a nice, tall thing of dirt, and put another landmark up there. If I stop powering this and hit it again, you can see I've selected this gigantic cube. And that is where my warehouse will be. Now, number one, we place down the filler. And when you place down the filler, all your landmarks suddenly pop out of existence and back on the ground. If you're playing in legit, you might want to run and collect them because they are a redstone torch and a piece of lapis. But because I'm playing all cheats in this series, you know, I'm not going to be all concerned about stuff. So, the filler works by using bricks and glass to select a pattern for the filler to work with. Okay? So you can fill this thing with different patterns using glass and bricks to make, you know, some different patterns. And there's stuff that fills in the space completely. There's stuff that flattens it out. I thought this was flattened. Oh, these are brick slabs. You got to be careful about that, because brick slabs do look like a lot like bricks, but they will not work. you need the actual brick item. There we go. That's that one. Now for this right now, we have a gigantic forest in my way. So I'm going to want to clear it. And for that, we'll naturally use the clear. Clear. So you can see this thing turns green because it has an available pattern, and that pattern is printed out on the sides of the filler. Now I just need to give it power. For that, I'm going to be using a redstone energy cell. These things store power, and you can move them around. They're quite handy. Yeah, so I'll just place this down. You can see this filler will start working. You might be thinking, what's it doing? Well, somewhere out there, number one, you'll see the redstone energy cell is draining energy at an extremely fast space. And somewhere out here, stuff is oh, whoa, what's this? Whoa, it's just clearing the land like mad. Now, in newer versions of Buildcraft, these items will disappear, not to cause lag, but for now, I have to run around and collect them. So, while this filler works, and while I'm watching it, I will explain to you the basis of what I'm going to be doing in this series. And, so, I'm cheating in stuff, because if I was to build this warehouse legit, it would be kind of ridiculous and take forever. So, cheats. But, with that word in mind, cheats, I am not going to be filling chests with diamonds for my automatic crafting purposes. I am going to be legitimately getting these diamonds, yeah, from mining and such. So I will set up quarries to get myself items. Oop, that's my gravitational engine. That's what's making me fly when I'm not in creative. Or creative plus, which is the mode I'm going to be using this whole time. And you can see there's normal mode, of course. Of course, I have my gravitation engine, so I'm still flying, but without it on, this is, normal survival. Gravitation engine on, I can fly. There's normal creative, which is vanilla creative, and there's creative plus, which basically means you get all these extra storage spaces in your inventory, and you can use the NEI thing to hack stuff in. So you can see this gigantic area here that I wanted cleared out is getting cleared out. Pretty cool. Yeah. So, I'm going to creating all sorts of systems, and I'm probably going logistics pipes on this one, because logistics pipes are good for creating a massive network of stuff and being able to add on things to that gigantic, massive network. So, it looks like I've collected most of the stuff. Ooh, and I didn't set my filler high enough to remove the treetops. That probably wasn't the best idea. So, I might just want to run this filler again with the same settings. I'll place the landmarks in the same place, and just have it clear out a bit higher. Now, luckily, the filler is an intelligent block, and it will recognize that all this space is already cleared out, and it won't try to clear it out again or something. Cool. So we can break the filler, and set this grass tower here to be a lot higher to clear out everything. And now when I select this, it should give me the same area, but a lot higher. Place my filler down, get it selected the area, and set glass to clear the whole thing out. Cool. And it should be working. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Redstone energy cell. Yeah, and you can see now we are clearing out some of these leaves here of the trees. And I will be setting this thing to only day. That's a cool feature of NEI. You can set it so it's always day using that. Yeah. Sweet. Gigantic cleared out area. This will eventually dissipate because there's no logs holding it up. And I might as well just pick up some of this stuff. So, if I go back over here, I'm going to hit my filler one more. Actually, no. I'm going to place my landmarks down again, but this time in a slightly different way. Lower, because that's how high I want my warehouse, and this one in the ground. Now, of course, that means all of these have to be one in the ground. Can't just have one of them like that. Use my quantum legs to sprint over here really fast and place one down right here. So now, by going back over here, I can hit this landmark and create a cube, just like the other one, but lower. This is where I'm going to actually build my, thing. My warehouse. That's what it's called. And for that, I'm going to be using a container recipe, which is bricks containing something, kind of like that. And for this, you'll need a material. And I'm going to be using basalt, just because it looks pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty much the only reason. Now, place a redstone energy cell down, and you'll notice, whoa, my basalt's being... Whoa! Look at these walls. Better feed this thing fast. And you'll notice these walls are just growing and growing. Wow, look at this thing. It just... Did it just... Wow. Pretty crazy how fast it can build, right? Now, I don't need this gigantic tower of dirt here anymore. But what I do need is more basalt. Now, it will also put a roof on this, and that means it will be dark. Now, using wrath lamps and some of the new Buildcraft blocks, I will be lighting this place. So, yeah, it's getting pretty dark in here. So, if I grab something called a wrath lamp, these things are special lamps added by, I think, factorization, that spread light farther than they should. So you'll notice it creates an original light source itself, and then it makes more blocks that are light sources. So you can light up gigantic areas only with a few of these. See? And then when they register, suddenly you get this massive, massive lighting area. And I'll place some more down here. And I think we might have actually ran out of basalt. Yeah, because nothing's happening anymore. So I'm just going to head back over into here and fill this thing with more basalt. Basalt. Wait, that's not the right inventory. This is the right inventory. Okay, that's a ton. Hopefully that's enough to fill this entire area. Yeah, that should be good. So you can see on Ray's minimap we have this gigantic black blob of just blob. Now the filler is done and it will turn red. Fillers will replace blocks that you break during construction, but once they're done they deregister and they just, yeah, they won't replace your blocks anymore. So this is my temporary entrance. Next episode, I probably will want to make a cooler entrance than that because, well, who doesn't want a cool entrance? Now, for the floor, I'm going to be using the fill. I think that's the right one I want. Actually, I'll just use clear and then fill, because I will want to clear the floor first. That's because I don't want the floor to be, well, a normal floor. And what the frick is this? There's like some sort of weird glitch going on where it... Oh, and why did I get that type of... Okay, don't ask me why that was. Or you know what, that probably was because I ran out and then I placed some more in. You know, it's building so fast, I kind of expected it to glitch out a little bit and give me an extra layer or something. So I'll just clear out this. But back down here, we have... Where does this connect to? What does this connect to? Okay. So I'll need one over here. And I will not be making this one 3D, though. I will, however, be making it 1D. And I will be placing the filler in a little pocket back there. And what I'm going to use here is the clear, again, to clear out the floor. Just place my energy cell down, and my floor should be disappearing fast. Now, as for the blocks I'm going to replace it with, I'm using some of the Buildcraft blocks, because, well, they're pretty cool. And that would be XY lights. What floor color should I go with? It's a tough one. It is a warehouse, so it shouldn't be too bright a color. Yeah, because I'm discussing this, let's just go green. Green looks good. So when this thing's done clearing, I will place a new pattern in this, and I will have it fill the area that it just took away with new types of blocks. These Zycraft light blocks. Now will not only keep my floor brilliantly lit, but pretty snazzy too. Actually, if I use some of these black, here, let me just experiment with the types of blocks I have available. We got black. We also got blue and we got green. Those are okay. So we have that. We have this, and we have this. I think I like the green. It looks really cool. Black's kind of dull. I'll go with green. Lime green. Now, another thing is you can delete all the items in your current inventory screen by shift-clicking, but if you turn on delete mode, it just means everything you click on, you delete. And if you shift-delete it, it will delete all of those types of items. So you can quickly remove everything you don't want from your inventory. In fact, I wanted to keep those bricks, didn't I? Oops. Bricks. Bricks. Because now I will be using another new type of filler command recipe thing. Fill. Whoa. Whoa. Ah, I didn't mean for that to go. Break energy cell. Oops, it placed down a bunch of basalt, because I just happened to have that in there. Dang it. I have to break all this manually, because, well, setting up the filler with a new recipe would just take a bit longer than I want it to take. Anyway, take all these stuff out, and get myself more of these inverted lime green zycoridite lights. Just paste them all inside here. I'll want to set up a little hole in the wall so I can access this thing. That should probably be enough. Awesome. And now, even where there aren't wrath lamps in this corner, it will be bright. So while that thing's working, I will fix up the ceiling. With this weird glitch that happened and place an extra layer. And you can see this dark area here is getting filled in by these glowing green lights. Awesome. That looks sick. Did I actually run out? No, it just stopped working. Oh, no, it's still going. The chicken probably got in the way. If an animal does get in the way, or you get in the way, it will just stop. Ow. Whoa! No, that was just me jumping. This could be an... Ooh, that time I probably did run out. Whoa, did you just poop out an egg? That's kind of random. The chicken just pooped out an egg right there in front of me. Anyway, I did run out of those green lights, and I placed all of them. Kind of dumb. But let's grab some more. Give myself a bunch, and paste them all in here. That has to be enough to fill in this area. And for the ceiling, I will keep the wrath lamps, otherwise the ceiling would be all dark. But the floor probably would be dark too if it wasn't for these brilliant green lights. Cool. So wrath lamped and green lighted up. Looks like I got myself a mech warehouse. So, I hope you enjoy this series. I will do some more advanced things later, but for now, I think this was a good start. I created the warehouse that I will be doing all my experiments, fancy stuff in. I will be, of course, doing other things, such as farms, automatic, breeding villager, strange things. I don't know, mining, of course, outside of the warehouse, but this is where all the item processing, storage, and all that other cool stuff that goes on happens inside this mech warehouse. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Leave a like if you think this is a good idea. Comment if you want me to continue doing this. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Please rate, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye.